Welcome everyone, and I apologize for the technical delay. It's obviously not a black and white TV. So welcome to the special meeting of the council on Monday, January 29th. Roll call, everyone is here. Councillor Wilsey is joining us electronically. Welcome aboard, Greg. Motion to approve the agenda for this special meeting be approved. Councillor Pelkman, second by Councillor Kennis, all in favor? Carried. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none. This is a public meeting held by council and is to consider the stage 2 evaluation endorsement of the comprehensive settlement boundary review project. This non-statutory public meeting is an opportunity to present to council and the public the details and background to the proposed comprehensive settlement boundary review project, stage 2 evaluation endorsement, and to receive comments from the public and agencies, including council. So there are a number of motions in front of us, but right now I'd just like a motion to receive the report. Councillor Kennis, second by Councillor Brennan. All in favor? Carried. Just a quick brief outline on the report, if we can, Director Huff, or Matthew, just a quick overview of the report. Okay, presentation.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here and to members of council. My name is Matt Rodriguez. I'm a senior planner at WSP, and over the last several years, we have been working closely with the Planning and Building Department on the Growing Together Strathroy-Caradoc project. We're here this evening, though, specifically speaking about the draft approach to accommodate growth at this special council meeting. Next slide, please. Could we go back to the slide deck, perhaps?
Apologies, Matt. I am taking this from the agenda, and perhaps I took the wrong attachment.
Perfect, thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, so a brief overview of this evening's presentation. We'll just start with some sort of foundations in this project and the engagement that's been completed so far. I'll provide an overview of the municipality's overall land need for future growth. This is a really important part of the equation of the work that we're presenting today. I'll then present the study area and evaluation criteria, followed by that draft approach to growth, and certainly the next steps in the process. As the mayor alluded to, this is a non-statutory meeting and an opportunity to seek council's and the community's input on this preliminary recommendation and sort of the endorsement and the unlocking to go forward to the next step, the analysis and further consultation and recommendation. Next slide, please. I'll start with a brief project status and engagement update, and on the next slide, I'd like to highlight sort of the overall Growing Together process that has started to date. This has been a multi-year project that really began in 2021 and is planning for the future of the municipality over 25 years. A number of master plans and studies were completed as part of this process, and they've come before the public and council at regular intervals over the last couple of years. They include a regional commercial systems study. So that was a study that looked at the amount of commercial land need in both Strathroy and Mount Bridges. a transportation master plan, municipal-wide, as well as a recreational trails master plan and parks and recreation master plan. An employment land study was then also prepared that looked at the employment forecasts for both the amount of land needed, but also the types of employers and other economic development trends in the community. 2 other studies related to affordable housing and a fire station location study were prepared, as well as a servicing capacity and constraint study, which I'll explain in a bit more detail on a future slide. All of these master plans and studies are intended to help guide infrastructure and budget decisions and informed new policies in the official plan that were approved or adopted by council last year and most recently approved by the county. This body of work has been a multi-year study that is really the first of its kind here in Strathroy-Caradoc, and it's culminating in what we're sort of the last stage of the process, the comprehensive review, which is planning for where and how the community will grow into the future. And again, this is the first formal undertaking of this kind. And so we're not, say, building on a plan from 5 years ago in terms of the boundary. We're really looking at this process very fulsomely for the first time. Next slide, please. It's also important to set out that the comprehensive review process is one that's set out by both the province and the county in their plans and policies. This is not an exercise that the municipality is taking on its own, and rather one that many other communities across Ontario undertake and have undertaken to date. Through this process, the municipality must plan to accommodate future growth by identifying a long-term supply and developable land, and undertake a comprehensive process to study the most appropriate locations for this growth, which is the work that we are doing right now. It's important through this work that the municipality build on the forecasts set out by the County of Middlesex. And so we take work that has been prepared by county staff and council and applies to all of the lower tier municipalities or area municipalities in Middlesex County and embed that and take that here and apply that in a local setting. It's also important through this process that those numbers be defensible and that we avoid over-designating land beyond that which we can service in a reasonable time frame and cost, for example, and that we use those numbers as a solid basis for making decisions. Within this process, the municipality can establish appropriate phasing policies to ensure that development occurs alongside those necessary infrastructure upgrades such as water, wastewater, and transportation, as well as the appropriate mix of land uses within future development lands. And the official plan really is the main tool that the municipality uses to direct and guide that growth. Next slide, please. Again, this comprehensive review process is one that's set out by provincial policy and what allows for the expansion of the settlement area boundaries, which we're speaking about tonight. The settlement area boundary of a municipality, so that's the distinguishing line between that sort of urban and rural area, may be expanded if there's not enough land to accommodate projected growth over 25 years, that there is financially viable and available or planned services and infrastructure suitable for the development, that there's compliance with the agricultural setback requirements, and that impacts on agricultural areas are minimized and mitigated to the extent possible. Through this process, there's also an opportunity for the municipality to consider the redesignation of lands. So there may be lands that are currently within one designation today, but we can change the designation of those lands to be something different to help us accommodate our long-term growth. Next slide, please. The map on the screen right now shows the municipality's current settlement area boundaries in dark orange. The remainder of the municipality, and certainly the vast majority of its land area, are outside of the settlement areas of Strathroy, Mount Bridges, and Melbourne in sort of that lighter orange color. These areas are those locations where growth is directed and are the built-up areas where development is to be concentrated. And so what we're looking at through this process in its most simple terms is where that line on the boundary between the dark orange and light orange is. Next slide, please. This comprehensive review process has been in fact a multi-year process that really got underway in earnest probably about 2 years ago now, when notices were sent out to landowners, also to the community, seeking their input and their requests into this process. It also was an opportunity for us to identify municipal priorities and make sure we're aligning with all of the different master plans and studies that are in place today. That work was completed sort of over winter and spring, and by the fall of 2022, so about a year and a half ago now, a stage 1 evaluation matrix was prepared and presented to council first in January 2023, and that was council's sort of first opportunity to look at that report, not dissimilar to the meeting that we're at today. And this was followed by council's endorsement of that report in April of that year, of last year rather. This was our first cut at establishing evaluation criteria as well as a study area where future lands would be required. But also importantly, that the municipality re-look at its residential land needs assessment. Some of this work...
Excuse me, Matt, and everybody here, just going to call for a 5-minute recess in fairness to the people on Zoom.
Okay.
There seems to be some audio trouble, and I just want to be really fair to understanding the importance of this process and the fact that we do have a member of council on as well as members of the public. So I'm going to just ask the clerk if we can do something to fix the audio for the people that are joining us electronically.